Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 23rd episode of The Ruins of Warsaw, our Vampire the Masquerade game set in 1947 in Warsaw, Poland. I'm Alexandra, and I'm the storyteller. And as always, Nurse is there as our keeper of the Elysium in the chat. So thank you so much for that and for handling all the tech for us. And thank you all so much for tuning in and continuing to follow this story with us. We really appreciate it. So, just a quick reminder of what happened last time. Last time, Bea and Janina got back to Hotel Bristol, having lost their sister Mara. And soon after the fight, when it happened, struggled to process their emotions. Janina was accompanied by her sire, Daniel, who was apprehensive of facing Camarilla again, but was eventually picked up by the Bruja Primogen and taken to talk to the prince. And Bea was accompanied by a toreador, Nina, who secluded herself in Bea's and Felicia's room and later was transferred by Felicia to Janina's room, but spent most of the rest of the night processing her own emotions as well. Mourning, just like Bea and Janina. And there was some conflict between Bea and Felicia, where Bea's emotions about losing her sister conflicted with her blood bond, and Felicia's attitude during the fight with Zinishi, and after the whole thing. But in the end, Bea was unable to resist and followed her sire back to their room to lay down to sleep while listening to a softly hummed lullaby. And Janina wrapped herself in a dress that used to belong to Mara and fell asleep like that, still struggling to process loss and emotions. And we are starting with Janina. As you open your eyes, you can all lose blood for the night, and you can regain a point of willpower. I presume willpower, not the loss of blood. You wake up. And you are wrapped in a dress that used to belong to Mara, as if in a blanket. It's the first thing you register when you open your eyes. Nina, yes, Nina is also awake now. She's still very quiet. She's sitting up on her bed, wrapping her hands around her legs. Just looking at you, at the window, at the wall, not saying anything. Her mouth is closed, though.
If there's anything else, I will give it to her or show it to her if there is like more, so she could like pick her choice, but not the dress.
Looks and she picks something like out of most of these dresses are fairly elaborate, extravagant. She picks the simplest one. Still, based on some costume in a theater, but a simpler cut of a red dress. And picks it up. Is it okay if I take this?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she disappears in the bathroom to get changed. And spends a moment there. But reemerges very quickly. You can see some water still on her face. She clearly washed off some of the bloody tears. She hesitates. I suppose this is as presentable as I will be today.
You look very beautiful. I think you will fit right in. And I smile at her.
Thank you.
Like a real smile.
I hope, well, I hope it will be all right for me to be here.
What is the reason that you left, if it's not private?
I didn't really leave. I got lost.
I see.
But I know my clan can be, well, can make a big deal out of anything they deem inappropriate.
Well, maybe they will be happy that you're back. Strength is in numbers.
I doubt there's anyone missing me that much. I was always, well, tolerated at best.
Who is your sire, if I may ask?
She looks down, kind of freezes for a moment. My sire is gone. I never got to know him much.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I used to have a friend, but we got separated during the war. I ask your friends about him, but I don't think he's here. I don't think he made it. But I'll see. Maybe he'll still show up. I'd love to see him.
Maybe he will. Do you wish to go right now?
Well, might be early for some people, but let's go and see whom we meet.
Yes. I think Bea is not up yet. So we can go there and see, and if maybe there will be someone from your clan, so you can make some contact and reintegrate back.
Let's hope so.
All right, and I will open the door for her and lead her the way to the lounge.
And you get there very quickly as you're approaching. You hear some music coming from there. the rather inept, simple practice melodies. And you hear someone slamming the keys angrily and then quiet.
I will slowly approach the door if it's open.
Oh yeah, it is. It's not like completely wide open, but it is partially open. You come to the door. And inside, you see Rahela sitting at the piano, at the moment just angrily staring at it. And Diana leaning against the instrument, talking to her quietly. As you enter, they both look towards the door.
I'll smile and nod at them, and I will whisper to Nina that Diana is also a toreador, and I will lead her to her and to Raquel.
So you come up, and Diana and Nina look at each other, and you see some recognition in Nina's eyes as you introduce Diana. But Diana is just looking at you with a rather serious, soft, careful expression. And she just says, Janina, I am very sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you, Diana. I know you cared about Mara as well.
She just nods her head.
And I'm speaking very softly and silently, so it was just around. So only Raquel, Diana, and
yeah. There's no one yet else here
yet.
Yet.
Anyone else? Okay. But still, I'm just, with kindred, it's always better. You never know.
And Nina kind of steps towards Diana, and she says, you might not remember me, but I think I've seen you briefly. You're a child of Lucian Topolsky, aren't you? I'm Nina. And Diana takes her hand, shakes it. I'm afraid I do not recall. Nina says, is it okay if we talk for a bit? Diana looks to Rahela and just asks, you are gonna be okay, dear. It's all right. And Rahela just looks down at the keys, doesn't say anything. Diana and Nina smile at you. Diana stops.
I smile back
for a
at
moment. Very lightly touches your arm. If you need to talk, I probably will be with Dominic later.
Thank you. I will definitely go see you both.
And they move away. Rahela looks up at you. She clearly struggles to sort through something for a moment. And then says, Bea told me what happened.
It's all right. I know you cared about her.
Yeah, I did. I really hoped you would all be okay.
I will place my hand on her shoulder and try to encouragingly smile at her. I know, we all wish that we always be okay. And then I will try to switch the topic and I will ask her, are you trying to learn how to play?
I've been trying for some time. I think my sire would like that, and I want to distract him. He's always crying on the inside.
Yes, I noticed that he's very sensitive.
I just can't. And she looks at this keys and just like stands up and closes the piano a bit too angrily. And you see some other kindred slowly starting to enter into Elysium as well around this time. Some of them like look as Rahela just slams the piano, but they don't say anything. She looks kind of self-conscious at that. I can't focus today, but it's all right. There will be other nights.
Of course, you have a lot of time to get better at it.
Janina, if you want, roll perception and empathy with difficulty 6.
Okay, I will. I have 3 successes.
Okay, so you see that she is stressed and very preoccupied and seems like feeling upset about like herself or guilty about something.
I will like turn her around me so she faces me and are you alright? Is something happened? You seem tense, nervous.
She looks around at some of this other kindred who've been entering. You see some of the Toreadors, the Stefania, the usually quiet one. Some other people you recognize but speak too much. It's not a big crowd. There's like maybe 3 other people there. And she looks down on her feet. Oh, it's all right. I probably shouldn't talk about that.
Well, you know, you can always talk to me about anything. I will keep your secret. You don't have to worry, but I'm not pressuring you.
I just didn't. It's difficult to explain. I couldn't control myself and caused trouble for someone.
Oh, we all have been there. Can I help, maybe, somehow?
And she looks like more warmly and takes some measure of comfort in your offer. But at the same time, you can see that she doesn't quite want to say it, but there's nothing you can do, and that is way above anything you could do. And she just says, I don't think there's much that can be done now. I'm going to have to. I hope it will be all right.
If you need any help with anything, you can always come to me. I'm always here for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think it just, we need to be more helping towards each other. I mean, like kindred, not just you and me.
Yeah. And you see this guilt kind of flash a bit more in her face as you say that. But she just nods and says, yes, I agree. If you or Bea need help, I'd like to. If there's something I could do, I'd like to help.
So far, there is nothing, but you can always be here for us. And we will be here for you if you need to talk, or we are willing to help. Well, I can speak for Bea, but I'm sure that she is going to be willing to help you in any way, because you're a good kid. But I don't mean kid like a kid. I mean like when you say it, like not. I don't want to remind you know, like
she makes a bit of a face at it, but then she kind of processes and gets what you meant.
Where is your sire, by the way? Is he still in his room?
He
sleeping?
should be here soon. I should leave the piano for him.
I believe in you. I believe one day you will learn how to play.
She just smiles and nods, but her thoughts are clearly somewhere else. What do you intend to do then? Do you want to hang out at Elysium?
Well, if I see someone who I know is friendly and I care about, if not, I'm gonna head towards Bea and Felicia.
So yes, at Elysium you see well, Nina and Diana are still there chatting.
Well, if I see them chatting, I will leave them. I just like maybe glance at them.
At some point you see actually Bruno enter towards the conversation with Rahela and start making his way towards you. And not long after that, you see Daniel enter with Isidore as well.
I'm gonna go towards them. I will excuse myself from Raquel and smile on Bruno when I pass him, and I'm gonna go towards Daniel and Isidore.
All right, and Rahela goes towards her sire. Meanwhile, Bea, you are running through the ruined city. Smoke and ash is filling your lungs. You hear roar of planes above and the thundering sound of bombs falling on the city in a distance, but closer, ever so closer. You choke and stumble, but you keep running, frantic, desperately looking for someone whose face you cannot quite remember. You see various people go past you, some of their faces almost familiar. But you can't quite make out. And the faces, as you look at them, start to disintegrate. Their skin peeling off, muscles peeling off, leaving only bones or chunks just of flesh torn off of the body. And you keep running as names flash through your memory, appearing and immediately forgotten, each leaving behind a trail of emotions that you can't quite sort through. Marcin, Kuba, Kasper, Kasia, Felicia, and then Mara, but all of them go into the distance, forgotten deep in your memory, roaring of engines and bombs mixes in your ears with a soft tune of a lullaby. You long to get closer to that voice and run towards it, but the closer you are, the more each note hurts you. It causes you pain and you scream, your voice mixing with the voices of others running past you, screaming from pain and loss and fear. The screams get so loud that you barely hear the roaring above you and barely hear the explosion before the ground shakes as you fall and are lying in the rubble, faces flashing before your eyes. There's a woman with a knowing smirk whose face suddenly twists in pain. There's a friendly, a bit shabby face that reaches towards you before the whole face gets ripped off, leaving only the skull. Someone tries to pull you up. A man, another familiar face. You want to speak his name, you want to hug him, but it all doesn't come, and he fades away into the air. His touch disappearing, leaving your hand empty. After that, another face appears, cracked, ugly, contorted, with little horns raising from the forehead. And you recognize her as your sister. You reach towards her as she leans to help you stand up and hug you. But suddenly, the cracks in her face open wider, blood pouring out, and then fire pulling out, slowly enveloping her body that contors in pain above you. As the roar of an engine fills your ears again, and the world explodes in pain and fire. You open your eyes. You're lying on a bed. There is a woman, older woman near you. You recognize her name as Felicia, right humming of a lullaby. And you can smell the smoke and hear the roaring outside the window. So yeah, down the stairwell. You see the buildings were lit. They're elegantly dressed. They're elegant, seemingly oblivious. You hear the ground, but you hear the ground slightly as you keep running. You look at those faces. Suddenly, you think you recognize a very elegant, serious face, clearly trying to keep composed demeanor. In a man speaking to some woman holding champagne glasses. For a moment, you think he looks straight at you. You see his lips form into your name and his eyes flash with fear. The roaring gets louder. The face is not familiar anymore. It changes. The man is just talking to a woman. You have no idea who they are.
I need to get out. I need to get out.
You run out to the street. You are outside. You see ruined buildings, just the skeletons of buildings outside you. You see rubble from buildings that have collapsed.
There's a moment where I'm just trying to get my bearings. And as the names occasionally come through into my head, I start shouting them, but by the time I've finished saying the words, the names are gone again. What was it? Casper. I've already forgotten it. I shout for them. And then the engines are so loud. I need to find somewhere safe.
So you keep running. along the streets. As you are shouting, someone comes up to you, a man in a uniform, the design of which you don't quite recognize. He comes, Miss, are you all right? Do you want me to call someone? Do you need to get home? And he's reaching to touch you, to kind of put a hand on you.
I flinch back. I don't want him touching me.
You flinch back. He kind of tries to put a hand on you to
Don't
keep
touch
you in
me.
place. Miss.
Don't touch me.
He said something, we need help here. Excuse me, miss, everything's gonna be okay. Where do you live? What's your name?
Everything's gone. The bombs are taking everything. There's nothing left.
Miss, the war is
I
over.
run.
You run, and you just hear him shouting after you, miss, come back. But his voice just gets lost in the roaring of the planes and the sound of ground shaking as the bombs destroy the city.
I'm struggling to keep my feet as the ground shakes. I'm stumbling. My bare feet slapping on the pavement. Feeling the rubble stabbing into the soles. I don't remember who I'm looking for. Was I looking for someone? I need to get away from the bombs. I need to find somewhere to hide, somewhere that seems protected, a shelter. I look for anything that I could hide in, somewhere I could go.
So you keep running. Roll perception and alertness.
Okay. Do I have any penalties here?
I think for this specific thing, well, I'm going to give you difficulty 7.
Okay, difficulty 7.
A bit.
I still have injuries.
standard.
Okay, I still have injuries, so I'll take. So that's a penalty.
Yeah.
I have 2 successes.
You have 2 successes. So you are running, and you first try to hide just in a rubble in some ruined building, but the ground starts to shake, and you feel like you can feel some of the dust falling on your shoulders. So you move away from there. You keep running. You have no idea where you are. There are these moments of recognition flashing. You see a child briefly with red hair, and you feel this instinct to run to him and hug him, but he's gone. And then you don't remember why you wanted to run towards him. You need to find shelter. If you want to add anything to the description, feel free at any point, by the way.
That's fine.
And you keep running. Few people, you barely register, try to stop you, asking you, are you all right? What's going on? They try to touch you, but you flinch away and keep running. You turn into some streets, and you see an entrance to the sewers. And you remember people hiding in the sewers. You know, this is a shelter from the bombs.
I run into there and I activate obfuscate. And I find a corner to curl up in, and I hug my knees to my chest. And I just start to cry.
So you go inside, down there, curl up, in complete darkness. What's going through your head as you're crying?
It's really hard to keep track of my thoughts. It's names and faces that vanish immediately. There's fear. There's some hunger. There's loneliness. There's loss. But mostly it's just that horrible whine of the engines, and the sound of destruction. And I can barely hear anything. I can barely hear myself think over the sounds.
And you start crying in complete pitch black darkness. Meanwhile, Janina, you come up towards Isidore and Daniel. Isidore looks to you and nods his head at you, looking kind of intensely at you. Opens his mouth as if he was to say something, but then he sees Nina and he just goes straight for her, ignoring you for the moment. Daniel just sort of stands there, looks towards the two of them, and you see Isidore come in there, like clearly interrupting Diana and Nina in this moment. But Diana moves to the side as he just goes and hugs Nina, and she hugs him back.
I probably watched them for a while, like just feeling, seeing nice, that it's nice that someone got to rekindle their lost comrade.
Daniel is watching them as well for a moment, then looks to you, puts an arm on your shoulder. How are you today?
It's okay. What about you? Did everything go well with Zygmunt?
Yes, I'm now citizen of the good Camarilla. Returned after my many mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I didn't get back last night. Zygmunt, well, it took a while with the prince, and then he took me to Isidore, and then it was pretty late, and I didn't want to rush through the corridors.
Of course. I thought that you were
I went to
somewhere.
knock at your door, but you weren't there, so I thought I'll probably find you here.
Yes, it was a good thought. Nina wanted to meet others, so I took her here. So how Zygmunt and the prince made you? Did they made you beg? Did they make it hard for you? Because Zygmunt seemed to have a bit of fun with making you feel.
I guess if that's all the fun he's having, I can take it. It wasn't pleasant. He looks around at some of the people who enter. I'd rather not share my impressions too loudly around here. I promise to behave.
Of course, we can leave it for some.
I suppose I should give it some time before I start being too honest again.
Yeah, let's have this conversation somewhere outside when we have time. I'm glad you're safe and that you're welcomed here. And I will hold his hand and press it tightly. I think I should go to get Bea.
Go get her. I'll be here.
And behave. And I smile at him.
Zygmunt wants to introduce someone to you. So he told me to ask you to be around if you can.
I guess there aren't. Yes. I don't think I'm in any shape or mood to go anywhere except maybe somewhere to hunt. But first I want to go get Bea because I really don't want us to separate again.
Of course.
And I will excuse myself and go towards Bea's and Felicia's room.
So you head there, and you get to the door.
And I will.
And as you do, the door opens, and you see Felicia standing in it, not quite as put together as she normally is.
Good evening.
She hasn't done any makeup. Her hair is sort of arranged. She looks to you. Janina, is Bea with you?
A panic, maybe a bit of flash of panic runs through my body. No, I was just about to get her from you.
She
isn't?
No, she wasn't here when I woke up. I went to your room, but there was no one.
She's not
there,
at the lounge because I just was there.
I was about to go there. I needed to make myself slightly presentable. I hoped she was with you there.
I think I'd left the door open when I left.
Oh, you left the door open. Okay, then in this case, she says like the door was open. I'm really worried. I hoped maybe she was with you.
Maybe she's hiding somewhere, or maybe she got lost. She got scared and got lost somewhere in the hotel. I'm gonna go look for her.
Yes, okay. She looks to you. For a moment, looks like she's just gazing into the distance and then says, I don't think she herself knows where she is.
Now I'm scared.
And then she's kind of shakes. She grabs your hand, Janina, we need to find her.
Can you do like stuff like Bea does, like the omens, so you could figure out?
I can't.
So
she has a unique gift for being able to direct what she can find.
All right, so I'm trying to think, where would Bea go if she was scared? Because I don't think, can I figure out, because the door was open and I know that she's sometimes having nightmares, that there could be something like that she got scared and ran somewhere. Can I figure out some kind of place where to look for her?
You remember she once ran out from the hotel and then Mara found her just sitting on a bench not far along the street.
I will place my hand on Felicia's shoulder. All right, you go get yourself presentable, and I'm gonna go outside. Maybe she's just in front of the hotel. It's easier than look through the whole hotel. I will try to look around the hotel, and if I won't find her, I will come back, and we have to think about something else. I will also ask the receptionist, Mariusz, if he sees her, so he could make us know.
She kind of like, yes,
right.
Please do that. We need to find her.
Yes, and if you find her first, if she comes back, then wait here or in the lounge, please. All right.
Yes,
And
yes, I'll go look as well. Try to ask some people if they've seen anything. Maybe someone can call her. Maybe the Toreador girl can help, although she might be too young. I'll go and ask.
All right, I'm gonna go out, and I'm trying to go through so I could cover the most. Like, I will not go through I will go to the pathways that I think Bea would take. Like, if she was running, I guess she would probably go straight through the shortest way out of the hotel. So that's the way I'm going.
So you're going that way. You get downstairs to the outside. There is Mariusz at the front desk.
Yes, I will ask him if he had seen her.
He when he notices you, he kind of motions for you. Shivak, yes, I believe I saw your friend running out. One of the guards was trying to stop her, but she pushed him and ran away. There was also a call for you a few nights ago.
Okay, I'm going to look for her.
Right. Someone, well, I conveyed it to my masters, of course, but someone named Sarah Pavlak wanted to meet you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
I believe you've missed the date of the meeting she's given.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. All right. I will deal with this later. Now I need to go and find my sister.
Of course.
And if you see her, please let us know and try to stall her.
I will do my best.
Just maybe don't touch her. She has a problem, so just maybe stall her, calm her down with words or something like that.
I'll do the best I can.
Thank you.
We had access too late. We didn't quite expect that.
It's all right. She has.
Did anything happen? She seemed very distressed.
Yes, we had been through some hard things, and I think she's not handling it very well. But she's going to be all right. I just need to find her. And I will excuse myself and go out, and in front of the hotel, I'm trying to look for her. If I see her like sitting somewhere or hiding in some doorway or somewhere just in the walking and seeing distance from the hotel.
Roll me perception and alertness. With difficulty 7.
One success.
One success. So you can't see Bea. And you start like walking one way, then the other way. You're not quite sure. You can't see her anywhere in the vicinity. You go into one of the back streets. Before that, you overhear some people. Two women talking with each other. Have you seen her poor thing? Something very clearly happened to her head because of the war. Well, I hope someone will help her. Can't have her running the streets like that.
I will rush towards the women and come to them. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mrs., but I overheard you and I'm looking for my friend. Is it possible that she's a redhead and she was very distressed?
Oh, Yes, that's poor crazy woman. She ran
She's not crazy.
over there.
She just had been through a lot.
Haven't we all? No, I hope you find her. Are you her family?
Yes, I'm her sister.
She ran over there. She was making quite a stir.
And I will look towards the way the woman
She
showed me.
gestured towards the old town area. Sort of along the main
All right,
street.
thank you very much. And
going towards the old town of Warsaw.
yes, so I will go there, and I'm trying to look for her again, like in the darker corners, if there are some like buildings that are like ruins and are like space so you can hide underneath. I will go and call Bea's name.
So you start doing that. Meanwhile, Bea, please roll perception and occult. Difficulty 7.
Okay. That is 3 successes.
3 successes. So you sit there, crying in the darkness, and you hear tiny steps of rats around you, and you hear their squeaking, and suddenly more and more squeaking fills your ears. It's loud, it's deafening, and their voices echo through the tunnels. And you hear the sound of the squeaks moving past you, moving around you, moving with a clear purpose in certain direction. From above, you still hear thundering sound of bombs falling somewhere nearby on the ground. You feel the ground shaking.
Are the rats going back towards the surface, or are they heading further into the darkness?
They're not heading anywhere. Their voices are heading. They're heading in one particular direction in the darkness.
I follow the sound.
You follow the sound. So you follow the sound through the darkness. What's going through your head as you do that?
Fear, but also that it's something to focus on that isn't the bombs. There's this desperation for something more concrete, something that isn't just destruction. I'm still concerned. Someone's going to try to touch me, so I'm still trying to be hidden. And I'm trying to move quietly, but I still follow the sound. It seems to be drawing me somewhere. I want to see where it goes.
So you are following. Occasionally, you hear familiar voices telling you, come help, you'll be safe here. Beatrice, we need to get out of here. Oh shit. But they are somewhere on the boundaries of your consciousness. And you keep following the darkness.
The darkness feels more comforting than being out in the street did. I almost want to be sort of wrapped up in it.
You are. It's completely dark where you are right now. You keep crawling in the darkness. You had 3 successes. So after a while of crawling, You begin to smell a faint smell of blood coming from one of as the corridor splits, coming from the left.
I follow the smell of the blood. I'm hungry.
You follow the smell of the blood. It gets more intense. The rats' voices keep going forward. The smell gets more intense. There is darkness all around you. Please roll perception and occult again with the same difficulty.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Indeed. That is 2 successes.
It's 2 successes. And you had 3 before. All right, that's pretty good. So as you're going from ahead, but also from other directions, somewhere in the corridors, you start feeling echoes of disgust going through the air. You see pale eyes opening, and you feel the disgust rising, giving place to anger and hate. And somewhere at the back, somewhere from the distance, you're not quite sure from which direction, you see this anger and hate mixing with fear and desperation as the smell of blood mixes with the smell of fire, and taste of ash and blood appears on your lips. The disgust gets intense, but there are slight veins of satisfaction running through it. You can still smell the blood going through the tunnels of the sewers.
Is the disgust mine or someone else's?
It's someone else's. It's all around you.
I don't really know how to respond to the disgust, but I need blood. I follow the blood.
You follow the blood. Crawling through the corridor gets more intense. The feelings you're feeling, they get stronger, and then dissipate. It's like an echo repeating and repeating that you can hear. It's ringing through those tunnels. You still can taste the ash, and you feel smoke filling your lungs as it did above the ground. There's roaring coming from somewhere still. The ground from time to time slightly shakes.
I stop breathing so I can stop inhaling the ash. There's a brief sort of racked sob in my chest, but I try to quieten it in case anyone hears, in case anyone tries to touch me. I don't want anyone to touch me. And I want this disgust away from me. But I want blood more.
So you keep crawling forward. Meanwhile, Janina, you are shouting Bea's name, searching around the area, around the hotel. You can't find her. She's nowhere here. And at some point, you see an elderly woman approach you. Oh, my dear, I thought that was you. Did anything happen? And you briefly
Can I
recognize
recognize?
her. Yes, as a woman whom you nearly killed and to whom you gave some blood before.
Oh, yes.
Who was selling soup in the area.
I remember her.
And she looks genuinely worried seeing you. She comes to you. I was hoping to meet you again, but not under the circumstances. What happened, though?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you first, but now I remember.
Oh, you helped me when I
it's good to see you.
collapsed.
Yes.
Such a lovely young
I know.
young lady.
And I will try to like pat her on the hair, like that. I'm glad to see her. I'm looking for my lost sister. She has not been well mentally right now because we had been through some hard times, and I don't know, she gets scared and she runs away, and I'm trying to find her, but so far I have no luck. I guess you haven't seen her.
I've seen a young woman running clearly scared. It's really horrible what happens to people during the war.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know where she went. I wouldn't, my legs aren't what they used to be. I wouldn't be able to catch up with her even if I knew she was your sister. Some people ran after her, but I don't know what happened if someone picked her up. I think the police was getting interested.
Do you know? Do you remember where she went? Like from here?
I think she turned somewhere in that ruined building, but I don't know. People looked for her there, but she was gone. She must have gone out the other way. I don't know beyond that. But it is great to see you. Where do you live?
It's good.
Is there anything I can do to repay you? You helping me?
Oh no. No, of course not. You don't.
Well, I am selling soup here. If you ever feel hungry, you can get a free bowl from me or my granddaughter.
That's very nice.
She will recognize you as well. She will, of course, do anything she can. We're both very grateful.
Oh, there's nothing to be grateful. I think maybe I'm staying at the hotel right now, but because my and my sister's flat collapsed, so we had to move. So for now we are staying at the hotel, but
the hotel here? Oh my.
Yes.
Oh, you. Oh. And she hesitates for a moment. Well, I shouldn't trouble you, but please come see us. I would very much like to talk to you again.
Where do you live?
Well, nothing as fancy. We don't really have a permanent home at the moment. We found a room in one of the buildings that didn't quite collapse. If you live at the hotel, well, I don't want to sound too presumptuous, but maybe, well, you must know someone who can help with the housing situation. I feel so bad asking for more, but
oh no, of
my
course,
dear, you've been already so good to me. I'm sorry.
Ask around.
If I could help in any way.
You already helped me right now when you pointed me towards where maybe I could look for my sister. You can always come to see me at the hotel.
What's your name, dear?
Janina Sivek.
I will remember. Thank you so much. I really hope you find your sister. I'm so sorry. If I knew she was your sister, I'm on my head.
No, it's all right.
I think I don't think I could have
better that
her.
you didn't. No, of course. If you need anything, I will ask about the housing situation. I will try to help. But
Thank you so much. You're so good.
But
There's
right
some
now,
good people in this world. It's so good to know. I
right
won't
now I
stop
need
you. You need to find your family.
Thank you.
And you see
Have
her
a
looking to you
pleasant
with
evening
this
and take care of yourself.
admiration and clear longing
And I feel really
get
bad.
closer to you.
I really want to help her but I know that considering my past experiences, it's not going to go well. So, but right now I have other things to worry about. So I will excuse myself and go towards the place where Bea said that disappeared, and I'm trying to look for her there. I will go there and I will call her name, and if there is I will try to, where could she disappear, because I think she might be obfuscated, like hidden somewhere, because that's where my head spinned, that she obfuscated, and that's why they didn't find her. So I'm trying to look for her there.
And you go inside the partially ruined building. You climb over the rubble. You call her. You see some dark corners in there, some places when one would curl up, but you try to call, you try to check, you can't find Bea anywhere. You see that from the other side of the building, you can go into one of the smaller streets.
All right. If there isn't any other place around here where I think she could go, I will go towards the smaller streets, and
so you go towards
will continue.
The streets.
Yeah,
continue.
And I will continue. Yes, and I will continue
around
running
there.
And calling her name and trying to look for her around dark corners and trying to figure out where could she go.
Sorry.
Because now it's so bad. She's obfuscated. She doesn't remember much, and she's distressed. Like, how
I
worse
need to
could it
teach
be?
you off, Bex.
Right. Meanwhile,
back to this mess.
Bea, you are crawling towards the smell of the blood, and you become aware of pale eyes watching you from a distance.
This twitch as my lip curls back and fangs extend, and there's kind of this fear. I didn't want to be seen. And I sort of freeze in place, hold very still and wait and see whether they're looking away.
The eyes are looking straight at you. Well, perception and occult. One more time. With difficulty 6.
Ruh-roh. That had to happen eventually. It's a botch.
It's a botch.
Had to
I
happen
don't even
eventually.
know what happens on a botch like this.
Let's get creative.
I'm gonna get creative.
I'm never gonna find you.
I'm sorry.
So you look at the eyes. They look straight at you. And you're not sure what they are. The smell of blood disappears. The voices of rats disappear. And you hear this roaring. Feel your ears again. You feel fear just flash in you. You feel heat almost burning your skin. You feel the hatred, the disgust flooding at you, closing all around you. You can't make sense of anything of it. You are overwhelmed.
Scream. It's this long, drawn-out scream.
You're screaming. And as you're screaming, for a moment you don't remember anything. You don't remember how you got here. You don't remember what these eyes are. You don't remember why you're screaming. For a brief, very brief moment, you don't even remember who you are and how you got here. And this is where we will take a break.
What a cliffhanger.
So we will be back in about 10-15 minutes. Please stay with us and yes, join us after the break to continue the story and see whether and how the coterie will reunite.
We will never
All right.
reunite.
See you in 10-15 minutes.
Bye.
So, sorry for a bit of technical difficulties. I think Partners is explaining that in the chat already, but hopefully we will fix whatever went wrong and it won't be an issue anymore. And hoping for that, let's continue with our story. Janina, you are running around those streets, shouting Bea's name. What is going through your head as you're doing this? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, I'm quite getting frustrated and panicked because I don't know where Bea is, and I'm really worried that she is somewhere lost and doesn't remember anything, and that she first that she's just lost, and then I also worry that something could happen to her, that she could get herself into trouble because of it. And I'm just getting frustrated because I'm trying to look for her and she's nowhere, and the city is big, and where I believe that she's not somewhere like too far away. I believe that.
I think we've lost her.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah, you froze on me for a
Yeah,
moment.
you froze for a moment. But as you're running, you feel someone grab you by the shoulder. And you hear, Janina, try to calm down. And you hear Roman. And you see his face that he usually wears.
And when I see him, I'm gonna embrace him and hug him very tightly.
He hugs you back. And, all right, what happened? Why are you shouting so that half this fucking city can hear you?
Well, Bea got lost. Mara's gone.
Yeah, I heard what happened. I was coming to see you, but I had you over here, so
Yeah,
headed this way instead. Thought there was trouble.
Now
and he just hugs you. I'm so
gone,
sorry, kid.
I don't know. Even Felicia doesn't know where she went.
Fuck.
And I'm trying to stop for a moment.
Fuck. And you see him just try to come up with something. Well, fuck. And after some more profanities, which seem to be all that he can articulate at the moment,
it feels strangely comforting to have him back.
He composes himself. Right, well, first of all, you can't be causing a ruckus around here. People are already talking about some crazy lady who ran away in a nightgown, shouting, and now you're shouting, and fuck, there's gonna be... I know you're worried, and someone's gonna fucking take an issue, and it's gonna be a whole fucking
I don't know what
thing.
to do.
Let me think. Oh my god. I got nothing. I'm sorry. Where was she? What do you know?
What about
Where's
the
the
rats?
last?
You can talk to rats. Maybe rats can look for her.
Yeah, you're smarter than I am. Sorry, it's Mara and this. I'm not good with emotional stuff, you know. But I'm sorry. Shit. Okay, give me a moment.
We need to find Bea. I can't lose another sister.
Just.
She disappeared somewhere here, so I don't know. She probably
you have
obfuscated.
good thinking. Just give me a second. Just shut up for a moment and give me a second.
I love Roman.
Yeah.
And
I want him in my life.
Yeah. 100 out of 10 would die for him.
For a moment. And you see him shift a bit in this way that doesn't feel entirely human. And look around in this more animalistic sort of way. Just his lips are moving, but there's no sound coming out, and his eyes are just staring into the distance. And a while passes, and some more time passes. But eventually I see a rat running over the rubble. And come up to Roman. Sit. Squeak a bit. And look him straight in the eyes. He looks at it for a moment. And nods his head. Takes out a little bit of something. Some bit of food from his pocket. It's some pretty dirty crumbs, but so gives it to the rat. The rat eats it up.
Adorable.
And then he just says, "All right, go back to your own. Whatever you do, little fellow." And the rat just looks at him, squeaks a bit, and then disappears into the rubble. Roman looks to you, and his face just sinks. And you see his face just sinking, and he stares at you for a moment. God damn it. And he just hits some bit of a rubble. You see him smash some of the bricks with his fist.
What happened? What did the rat tell you?
She went towards the fucking hunter.
What?
Yes, I told Mara. I've learned there's some predator, some scary fucking mean predator. That's all I hear. That's all I can learn. That's fucking around. Yes, I don't have a fucking clue, to be honest. I don't think this... They're lovely creatures, but they're not... They can't always tell things the way we tell them, and then we can't always tell things the way they tell them. Could be a fucking kindred. It's some... it's bad news. That's what it is.
So you're telling me she's in danger?
As far as I can fucking tell. But I'm not going in there, and you're not fucking going in there. And he puts an arm on your... Like, he just grabs your shoulder. Just, no. No.
I can't leave her.
Okay.
I can't lose another sister. You don't understand. She's all I have now.
Then how the fuck are you going to find her?
Couldn't you told the rat to, I don't know, try to communicate with Faye? I mean, Bea. Sorry.
Raise the fourth wall.
They're welcome to try.
And to give her a message so she could, I don't know, go back. You know her, she's lost, and she's probably very distressed and beside herself. She's never gonna find her way back.
I can fucking try that. But you're coming with me to the goddamn Bristol right now.
And I'm very hesitant. I'm trying to stand my ground.
I'm not letting you go to... I don't even know what that fucking thing is. I just know it's a... I can't even tell. Whatever motherfucker is, it's a bigger thing than I want to ever have to handle.
Right, maybe we could tell Felicia to try to give
I'll talk
a
to
message.
her. Will she fucking listen to... Let's give it a go. Why... Fuck that shit. And he just throws a bit of brick away and focuses again in this animalistic fashion. And
poor rat.
Rat comes up again. They briefly exchange glances. And you see the rat squeaking. And gets very agitated. And scurry away. Roman just hides his face in his hands.
It didn't work, right?
Well,
she got scared.
It said it's not gonna go near that fucking thing, but if it meets her in a safer place, it will lead her to me.
Right. Let's hope Bea can.
Listen, I know some rats serve this thing, but others don't want to come near it. It's
understand it.
Let's find fucking Felicia's the last fucking thing I need. God. Come on. And he wraps his arm around you quite tightly. I'm not losing you out of my sight. Dolores, are you there?
I think we might be having some technical difficulties on her end. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Oh yeah, I lost you for a moment.
Sorry, yeah, so Roman basically doesn't
Are we
want
back?
to go of you. He wraps his arm around you and wants to
Yes.
start ushering you towards Hotel Bristol.
All right, let's go, but I'm not promising that I'm not gonna do something stupid. She's my sister.
Well, I suppose promise the things you can keep. What? And then he looks more somber and kind of sad. What the hell happened with Mara?
Well, we got attacked in the Anarch Haven, and Felicia took Bea and they ran away.
Was he fucking dead?
And Mara wanted to fight because it was our fault that it was attacked, because
What do you mean your fault?
it was my idea, but Mara...
Isn't it just the Sabbath attacking every fucking thing that doesn't sing their praises?
We made a stupid mistake. We contacted and arranged a meeting with True Rats, with someone who was spying on the Anarchs. We wanted to find out if they were a foe or a friend, and it turned out
He looks to you and you see, you talk to the rats.
Yes, Mara did.
Fucking.
And
what was it that attacked you?
it was one of the Sabbath. I don't know. He and I start crying, and he drank her dry.
I told her.
It was my fault.
I told her. There's something. Fuck. And he just like hugs you.
And I will hug him back, and I will cry again.
You see, there's a lot he wants to say, and he's terrified and furious and sad.
I already
he just wraps his arms around you and hugs you.
I already hate myself for what happened. I wish I wouldn't have such a stupid idea.
I fucking warned her.
I guess.
I told her. I warned her. What the fuck was... What?
It's not your fault.
I know it's not my fault. I just... For fuck's sake, let's go back.
You know, Mara, she had her head. She was very passionate and reckless. And I guess I didn't help.
Right. Fuck.
But now...
Can I ask you one thing, kids? Just make me one promise, and please try to keep it. Just before you rush to action, just please, even for a split second, use your brain. Please, in the future. I don't want to. And you see like some tears going into his eyes, and he angrily just away. For fuck's sake, and he just hugs you very tightly.
I will hug him back, and I'm sorry. I don't know what we were thinking. I guess we wanted to help, but we didn't think it through. And it was too late. But Mara wanted to make things right, so she fought to the end. And I really wanted to help her. I really tried. But Daniel, my sire, that I have met in the Anarchs, he didn't let me. And we also ran away. I don't know how many others made it. One Toreador, Nina, was also made it because she was running with Felicia and Bea.
Oh, poor kid.
But now we have to save Bea. You understand that I can imagine losing another sister.
Kid, I know you're very brave. But sometimes being brave is not very different from being fucking stupid.
I know.
I'm gonna fucking miss her.
I miss her too. All the time.
I know you do. I'm not letting you anywhere near that fucking thing. And he just pushes you, kind of ushering you towards Hotel
I'm trying
Warsaw.
to go very fast because I want to meet Felicia and tell her to try to convey a message to Bea, if she's able to.
Meanwhile, Bea, you're screaming, and your scream is thundering as loud as the roaring engines, as loud as bombs dropping upon the city, as loud as buildings collapsing in explosions. You don't smell blood anymore. You see the eyes in front of you, looking straight at you as you scream and scream and scream.
I think
And
I
your
suddenly
voice.
stop. I suddenly stop screaming.
And when you do, you're again in the darkness. And you don't see anything. You don't see the eyes. You can't smell anything. Everything is gone.
I start placing my hands on the sides of the wall, trying to find a way. I try to search my senses to find an escape, find a way out of here, because as much as the dark was comforting, I'm aware that there's something else here.
Roll for wits and survival.
Oh boy.
With difficulty 8, because you still hear the bombs.
Wonderful.
You're still disoriented.
Am I going to spend a willpower? I think I want to spend a willpower on this. Good thing too. One success.
One success. So you realize you need to turn back. You realize you were going towards danger. And you realize you need to turn back. And search for... You realized how you climbed down on just metal ladder built into the wall. And you realize you need to try to stand up as much as you can. You have to walk hunched, but you have to look for openings in the ceiling and for ladders like that.
Okay. When I'm sort of walking and I'm having to hunch, I'm almost going on sort of in the sort of animalistic sort of crouch and sort of almost scuttling through the sewers. But yes, I'm looking for an exit.
And you find it. Eventually, your hand meets a step of a ladder. And you know this is the way up. But you hear the roaring of planes up there. And you hear screams and you hear heat coming from above there.
There's about 10 seconds where I'm standing just clutching the ladder, torn between darkness and fire. And neither option seems safe.
And as you're standing there, the hatch on top opens, and a little bit of light comes. And you see someone leaning in, a figure you can't quite make out. You see a little bit of beard on his face. Looks familiar to you. You want to go towards him, and he's reaching down.
I scramble up the ladder and reach to grab his hand.
You reach to grab his hand, and you hear still the noise outside. You hear the ground shaking. You see more smoke and the ash fall through the hatch as this hand reaches towards you, and a voice says, "This is the way. Come on up. Come on up, my dear. And please roll me perception and occult once again. With difficulty 7.
Okay.
It's a lot of dust, but you're more sensitive. And
3 successes.
3 successes. So you hear him say this phrase, and his voice sounds like several voices, one from the other and the other, some seeming more male, some more female, some younger, some older, all speaking together in unison this phrase. As the person reaches for your hand and helps you up and grabs your hand, and you see their face also changes and keeps twisting, not quite keeping one form, changes from the familiar face you knew to another familiar face you know, more serious one, to a woman's face that is completely unfamiliar, to another older face. And it just keeps shifting, and sometimes you can see several at the same time. And just like in the voice, you can hear a unknown number of voices at the same time. The person helps you up the ladder. And I'm just going to make one roll.
Uh-oh.
This is bad.
I'm concerned.
Okay. No, that's actually very good. And as you come up, you're still aware of roaring and the ash and the distraction going on around you. But it fades away a bit. It's somewhere at the corners of your consciousness. And you stop feeling this overwhelming need to run. And you're standing on the street with this person whose face you can't quite fix on. It just keeps looking different and different.
There's so many people.
And you are living in the past, even though you don't remember it.
It's like trying to hold on to water. Just slips away.
There's no harm in letting it. I know it scares you sometimes, but there's no need getting too attached to who you were. You can always become someone different. It's something to pick and choose, if you wish.
That sounds nice. Sounds more free. Not confined.
One of many confines to break away from. But I'm glad I found you time. You got yourself, well, quite a bit of danger.
The eyes in the darkness.
Yes. That fellow, well.
The rats led there.
They were not leading you. It was a warning not to go there.
Oh.
You will learn to interpret what you see with time, don't worry. Come with me. Let's have a chat.
Of course.
And the person leads you towards one of the abandoned buildings. And just sits there on a bit of a rubble, inviting you to sit next to them.
I also go and sit down and kind of brush out the nightgown that I've been wearing, almost not really aware of what I look like, and just sit down quite primly. So I haven't just been crawling through a sewer for the last 20 minutes or however long.
Next to you. So as I said, the entity you encountered. Be careful. It's more the home here than any one of us can imagine.
What is it?
It's always been here. Or at least as far as I can remember, but I have quite good memory in reaching quite a long way back. Calls itself Vladivar.
I'd like to use Eyes of Chaos and focus on the name while I can remember it.
All right then. Roll perception and occult.
What could go wrong?
I'm gonna say difficulty 8 this time because you're trying more consciously. You're not in this super unbalanced state at the moment.
Ooh. Okay. That is 3 successes. I presume does insightful apply here?
I wouldn't say in this specific case.
Okay, then 2 successes.
2 successes. So you focus on the name and you feel the smell of blood again, and you feel that feeling of disgust raising around the air, around you in the air again. You see the pale eyes open and look at you. You see traces of veins running on the outside of the skin. And you feel the danger emanating from there. Feel the smell of Vita. The eyes that watch you with completely blank expression. But you know something in you instinctively knows to fear and run away.
It feels disgust. That's the feeling.
Oh, yes, He doesn't recognize his city anymore. His land, as he likes to call it. It's crawling with worms. At least it was. But still, continues to be somewhat.
I'm looking sort of uneasily in
I
sort of
don't
the general area.
believe he should take much interest in you if you don't repeat this little escapade and come to him yourself. I know you're a
Yes.
good child. I know you mean well.
That was not my finest moment.
Well, you wouldn't be one of us if you only had finest moments.
True enough. True enough. It's good to meet you. I feel like I've been looking for you.
Oh, you have been. Oh, your sire even more so. I've been keeping an eye on you. You're doing well. You're exceptional.
Thank you.
You really have a gift, my dear. And you're a good child. I know you care. For your mother and your sister.
Thank you. What do you
You
want?
should teach her a bit about behavior. Oh, what do I want? I don't want anything. I need to, well, at the moment I need to rebuild the city. It's in ruin. Look. And just gestures to the rubble.
I think in this moment where I'm sort of feeling calm, there's this weird moment as I look across and I'm seeing a mixture of both the rubble and also just seeing bombs dropping, but there's no real emotion. Like I'm seeing shrapnel flying, chaos, maybe bodies in the streets, but there's kind of this calmness while I'm talking to them.
But I started talking about your sister.
Yes.
You should teach her some of your good behavior.
I try.
She's, well, I suppose her kind always is so noisy. Still, you know, children need to know how to behave.
I will do my best.
I'm glad she helped your mother at least. I had my doubts.
There's this moment as I'm thinking and I'm trying to remember my sister's name and it's not coming to me.
As you do that, they say she's called Janina, and the one who's gone was called Mara.
Oh, of course. And I smile sort of shakily at them. Thank you.
What do you want, Bea? You're young. You must have plans and dreams. I'm here to support them.
Thank you. What do I want? There's this moment where I'm trying to search through the sort of fragments of memories. I want to do well. I want for the enemy to die. I want for the city to be, I guess I want it to be living more than just existing. I'd quite like for the bombs to stop falling. But that last
They
one's a bit
will.
harder.
They will, eventually. Then they'll come back, and they'll stop again. Some things we can't chase away forever. For you, it seems it's the past.
It ebbs and flows.
Just gives you a smile, a very warm smile, and you see it shifts its shape a bit, as if several different lips were smiling at you.
I smile back, and I feel relatively comfortable in their presence. Probably more so than I should, given circumstances, but as far as I'm concerned, they led me from the darkness.
I
And they
have
can't.
something. I have something for you, Atwitch. They say, and they just bite open the wrist and give it to you. It will
Okey-doke.
help you with your dreams.
I take it.
And you
Because
taste
why not?
the blood of your primogen.
I sure do.
And it's wonderful. It's exquisite. You feel the power that courses through it. It's the strongest thing you've ever tasted. It's the vita you can remember. And eventually, they give you a blood point like that. But they remove their wrist and just say, no, that's okay, my dear.
I'll sit back.
You don't want to be excessive with things like that.
Of course not. And I sort of wipe my lips.
But it should help you to see more or appear as anyone you might like to be.
Thank you.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I nod. Thank you.
Now, you should probably go back to your mother. She's worried sick. So is your sister, by the way. She almost rushed after you. Well, she's a careless one. You should try to teach her how to behave better and some self-preservation as well.
I will do my best. It's a continuing project.
The skills come in handy. And you wouldn't want her to die young like your other sister.
And as I'm talking, I try to send Mother a comforting feeling, a feeling of safety.
Roll your perception and awareness.
Okay.
Of the 9 for this.
Okie dokie. 2 successes.
2 successes.
Yeah.
So you focus on that. And you get a brief flash of awareness of just panic in Felicia, sort of back. And you know she was really worried for you.
And I just keep sending her the sort of safety and comfort as much as I can until the feeling fades.
And the person sitting next to you smiles at you, a broad, friendly, almost proud smile. Well done. But I'm afraid she will be worried until she sees you. has you in her arms. Mothers need to know their children are safe.
Of course.
Come on now.
I stand up and sort of dust myself off again.
And they come with you, and they lead you back towards Hotel Bristol. And as you're walking along the street, they just smile at you a bit mischievously. Just go, shh, no one can see us.
I make sure obfuscate is activated.
It's more like telling you something.
Okay,
rather
fair
than
enough.
asking you to do something.
Okay, fair enough. I will smile. I will smile back at them, and there's a little bit of cheekiness to it. Kind of enjoying the game.
They walk you through one of the back entrances of Hotel Bristol and walk you past some of the staff of the hotel to the place which is not far from where your room would be, where they smile at you again. All right, I believe you know way back from here.
Thank you.
I'd better go now.
Take care.
Please pass my good wishes to your mother.
I will. I smile at them.
And they give you one last smile and turn away and disappear from sight, just in front of your eye.
I smile and then turn and head back towards the room I share with Mother to get the grounding of my life.
Right. Meanwhile, Janina, you get to Hotel Bristol with Roman. You go in. Mariusz comes up to look. He just shakes his head to indicate he hasn't seen Bea. And where are you heading? Are you heading to the lounge?
I will probably first check Felicia in Bea's room, because I told her that I will first go there and then to the lounge. So first I probably go check the room.
There's no one at the room.
Then I will go to the lounge.
You head towards the lounge. And as you enter the lounge, there are more people there now. You see, just as you walk in, you register the toreadors where they usually are. You see Diana sitting there. You see Mihail, the primogen. And you see Nina kneeling in front of him, and he's saying something to her and smiling. And she's just nodding her head. And you see Abelard, Mara's sire, near the group as well. You see a few other people you recognize. You see Rahela talking to Eliza, and they're holding each other's hands. You see Antoni talking to Cornelia, the other Ventral. And you see Felicia talking to Bruno, who has stopped playing and is holding her hands, and she's saying something at him very quickly.
I will rush to Felicia.
Yeah, Roman comes with you, puts his hands in his pockets. As someone glances to him, he's just like, well, hello. But he just proceeds to Felicia. Felicia looks to you. You have not found her.
No, we didn't, and we think she's in danger.
Bruno doesn't even, turning towards you, just still holding Felicia's hand, says, she was. She's not anymore. And Felicia, what do you mean? Where is she? What can you see? Tell me. What
Can I
context
try
see
to
that?
find
Where
out
is she?
if he's like being genuine or if he just
Yeah, roll perception and empathy with difficulty 6.
my connection, like I don't hear
Right.
everything.
You can. Perception and empathy.
Sorry.
Difficulty 6.
Okay. One success.
One success. So yes, you can tell that he is being genuine. He doesn't quite understand the context of everything he's saying. He's clearly sensing something and seeing something. He can't quite explain it better. But he is honest.
Yes, that makes me feel a bit like I trust him and I believe that what he's saying is true, and part of me just gets relieved. But I'm still agitated because I want to find Bea and I'm scared for her.
Roman is just standing there, not really saying anything. Felicia is still like shaking Bruno's hand. And Bruno is just continuing to try to sort through something. She's been found, but not by danger, although she came close.
Thank God, she's fine. I will probably excuse myself and go towards Bea's room and try to wait for her for a moment, like not that I would wait like 1 hour, but like 10-15 minutes. I will pace back from my room to her room, like
okay,
back and forth. Because I don't know what else to do.
So you are pacing for 15 minutes. She doesn't come. Do you want to stay there, or would you go back to the lounge?
I will. Yes. No, I will probably try to stay there because I believe that if she comes to the lounge, there's Felicia, and I will wait here because she's not here, and maybe she would come here, so I will wait. I will pace back and forth, waiting for her nervously. But I'm a bit calmer because I trust that Felicia. If Felicia says that she's was found and she's not in the danger anymore, I trust it because I know that Felicia doesn't care about anything much more than Bea, so that I can trust. But I'm still nervous because
it was Bruno that said that. It was Bruno that said it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I thought that Felicia was also, because my connection keeps breaking and.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. Him and she was asking for more information, and he was clearly having some kind of insight.
All right. So it was Bruno. Okay. All right. Because yeah. All right.
And
so I'm waiting for her.
Bea, you head towards your room. You turn the corner, and you see Janina facing there, leaning against the wall. And you see Bea emerge from around the corner.
I
in
will
her
run towards
dirty
her and
nightgown.
And I don't care. I will try to hug her.
Oh God. I will roll the self-control check. Am I at any
Please
penalties?
do. I'm going to give you difficulty. It's normally 6, so I'm going to give you 7 because of how agitated you are. And you start hearing the nightmares much more clearly now again.
I have 110.
Yes, you can Control yourself, not flinch.
Bea, where did you go? I was so scared. You were in danger. What happened?
I'm sorry, the bombs are falling. And I needed to get somewhere to find shelter.
What bombs? There are no bombs here.
There are for me.
Did you have a nightmare? I see.
It's still happening.
Sorry. I wish I could make them go away.
Thank you. I went to a dark place. The sound of rats. I thought it was leading me somewhere, but it wasn't. It was a warning.
Yes. I thought while I was searching
before I forget it, and I grab you by the arm very tightly. The thing in the darkness, its name is Vladivar. We are on his land, and it is disgusted by us. You need to help me remember it.
You mean us like you and me, or us like kindred?
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Your mother, she's worried. I think now she's
of course
less worried because Bruno told her that you were found.
I look down at myself and go, I need a shower. Could you let Mother know I'll be in the room?
All right. But please don't go anywhere.
No.
Stay in your room.
I've learned my lesson. Sorry.
I know.
I didn't.
It's not your fault. I know you were distressed and with everything that's happened.
But you deserve better.
It's just hard.
I shouldn't have frightened you. I'm so sorry.
No, you deserve better. You deserve to have a life where bombs aren't falling.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It'll
I had no idea that it's so real for you.
It comes and goes. I think when things are difficult, they're more frequent. I think they're what I dream about at night. I think they're what I see. But this time was different. I've never had it quite this bad before.
Well, after everything that happened, it's understandable that you're trying to process it in a way your brain can. All right, go take care of yourself. And I want to let Felicia know that you're safe and back home.
Thank you.
I'm sure she's going to see you right away.
I feel like I'm going to be in a lot of trouble.
I'm sure not. You know, she loves you. She cares for you.
Yes.
You scared us, but everything's all right.
Okay. Right. I feel disgusting.
Just stay in your room, please.
Yes.
And I will kiss her on the cheek if she lets me, and then I will.
There's a slight grimace, but I
run
hold still.
Back to the lounge. And I will run back to the lounge.
Right. So you head back to the lounge. As you get in there, you see Nina now sitting near another Toreador, Stefania, and the Primogen still talking to her. You see Isidore looking at them across the room, very intensely, very angrily. You see Felicia, who almost immediately comes up to you.
I will sigh. She's all right. She's here. She's home. She's taking a shower.
I need to go find her.
Yes,
and she just starts going. Like,
and I'm just like standing there, like, finally, a moment of peace.
I'm so sorry.
So you're standing there with your moment of peace.
Is Daniel in the room?
Cool. Daniel? Yes. You didn't see him immediately. He is further deeper in the room. And he's talking to Zygmunt, actually.
Oh, I'm gonna go towards them, but I'm just like not, and I will, if they are talking, I'm not gonna like go and interrupt them. I just stand nearby and to wait for them to finish their conversation. But I will like nod at them and smile that they're know that I'm there.
Before you get to them, Antoni, the vengeful hound, comes up to you. Miss Shivak, I'm glad to see you. Well, I realize you're busy right now. I would very much like to speak with you when you get the chance.
Oh yes, of course. Sure. Well, if Zygmunt and Daniel are still talking, I'm gonna just write if you have time now, we can speak.
Of course, it's a quick matter. You will need some time to think about it, I presume. There was a call for you. Someone named Sarah Pavlak wanted to meet with you at the church. Apparently, he sounded pretty agitated. The church is right next to the clinic where the Masquerade
had set up a meeting with her.
took place. Well, my question to you, I understand you've lost your friend. My condolences.
Thank you.
But I'm afraid I must bring up certain practical matter relating to the fact of her death. She was supposed to resolve the situation around the Masquerade breach caused by Leonard.
Yes, I know that. And I wanted to ask you if I could have her task, because I want to honor her by fulfilling what she promised.
Excellent. That was also what I was going to ask. If you'd like to assess the situation and deal with it yourself.
Yes, of course.
There is no obligation on you. You're not the one who made the promise to the prince.
I know, but I want to, for personal reasons.
Then I will arrange to get to you all the information I got from Leonard. If you wish to speak to him, let me know. He's not quite up for meeting more people or coming in here.
Oh, can you please repeat? Sorry, my connection is...
If you wish to speak to Leonard to get more information, then Antoni will give you anyway. Talk to him, because Leonard is not quite up for coming to the Elysium right now.
Yes, I gathered that. I definitely want to speak with him and ask about some things.
Excellent. I will try to arrange it. Will you be available in the next few nights?
Yes, of course. I don't have any plans. Not anything that would take a whole night, so I'm definitely gonna be around here like early when I wake up, and a few hours after that.
I will find you, don't worry.
Right, thank you.
Thank you for offering to take on this task. I appreciate it. And I'm sure
the least I can do to honor my friend.
I am very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And he slightly nods his head and moves away. Meanwhile, Bea, you're in a shower. What's going through your head? What are you thinking about? The nightmare is still there, but it is a bit more distant than it was before.
I'm trying to focus on the sound of the water. And I'm still feeling sort of residue of the emotion of disgust that almost feels like it's coated. And so there's kind of this disgust at the state I was in, because I don't like being messy and gross. But also just that feeling kind of sticks to me. It's quite uncomfortable. So I'm sort of scrubbing quite harshly, trying to wash it away.
And you hear the door open, and you hear your mother's voice. Bea, are you okay? I was so worried.
Yes, Mother, I'm in the shower. I'll be out in a moment. I'm terribly sorry for...
Oh, it's no matter, my dear. It's no matter. I'm just glad you're okay. I thought I could feel you, and Bruno said he could. I'm just so glad you're here.
Thank you, Mother. The bombs are louder today.
I'm so sorry. I'll be here waiting for you.
Thank you, Mother. And I'll eventually come out in a towel. The nightdress is kind of abandoned in the bathroom floor. That's in a state. I'll deal with that another time. I sit down next to Mother.
She moves to hug you, then stops. Is it okay? I know you're not always okay with this right now.
It's worse at the moment, Mother. Your
I want
company,
you.
your company is enough.
I was so worried, but I'm so glad you're safe.
Thank you, Mother. I'm sorry. The Primogen found me.
Our Primogen
Yes.
seems to find all of us when we're in trouble. It doesn't show up much more, but, well, I'm not going to pretend to understand them.
I like them.
She smiles at you, and I'm sure they like you. They spoke very fondly of you. When them and I met briefly.
I sort of smile at the floor at that. The thing in the darkness, Mother. The hunter, that feeling of danger. Its name is Vladivar.
Vladivar. I never heard that before.
It hates us. It hates that we're on its land.
Oh, She looks kind of thinking about it. That's certainly concerning news. I'm going to have to convey it to the prince as soon as possible. Did the Primogen tell you that?
The Primogen told me its name, but, well, my nightmares led me to it. Nearly into it, I think.
Oh, Bea, I'm so glad you're here. And you see her shaking almost with emotion. Well, perception and occult.
Okay.
With difficulty 6.
And that is 2 successes.
2 successes. So you look to her shaking, and for a moment, as you're sitting near her, you can see inside her the strings of her nerves, always strained, always painfully vibrating from everyone that's happening around them, desperately seeking to wrap themselves around anything that would soothe them, but too sensitive to be comforted for long, too sensitive to vibrations all around them, each of which causes pain.
I would like to lessen her pain. I want to dampen the tension that she feels.
That's going to be charisma and empathy. With difficulty 4.
That is 2 successes.
She relaxes a bit, and you see her nerves relaxing a bit. Not permanently, not for long, but soft. And she looks to you and smiles with a warm smile. Thank you so much, my darling. I can always count on you.
Of course,
I was worried, that's all.
I'll always come back to you, Mother.
I know, darling, I know. I suppose that's part of being a mother. You worry constantly and too much. But I know I can trust you to come back. We will have to convey this information. I can do that if you prefer to stay here in safety for a moment.
I think it's important while it's still fresh in my mind. Things are slipping quickly at the moment. I want to do it before I forget.
Oh. Would you like to go find somebody you can talk to about this?
Yes, I will make myself a little more presentable. Go and quickly change and try to brush my hair out. I'll not bother with makeup quite yet because I don't want to waste too much time while my memory still is here.
And she waits for you. And then you head together towards Elysium. What are your feelings towards Felicia right now?
There's this weird feeling of resentment and disgust still lingering, but it's lessened. I can't remember why I feel that way. So I'm kind of shoving it to one side, which is easy. The blood allows me to do that quite easily, but it's still there at the bottom, and I don't like the feeling. It's kind of curdling in my gut. I've snatched up my notebook and I'm scribbling in it as we walk towards Elysium and trying to ignore the disgust and the resentment. But mostly there are warm feelings.
All right. Meanwhile, Janina, Zygmunt and Daniel finish talking. Zygmunt gives you a smile. Well, they're still standing next to one another. And Zygmunt just smiles. Janina, how are you tonight?
There was a bit of a stress when Bea ran away, but she's fine. She's home now. So everything's all right. Well, all right as it can be. But I'm all right. What about you?
Glad to hear she's okay. Oh,
Thank you.
well, concerned about the news of what happened with Isidore's little group, of course.
Yes,
I hope he finds his friends.
I hope so too. I hope they survived.
I have to keep an eye on him. Seeing how he looks there, and he just, with his eyes, shows to Mihail, who's now talking to Nina and is gesturing to Isidore and whispering something in her ear. And Zygmunt just says, I wouldn't want him to cause too much trouble.
Yes, sure. I understand.
And you see Nina is like, I don't know, do you pay much attention to her at all?
Or if Zygmunt looks at her,
Yeah.
then I will also like look
Roll
towards...
perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
Wow. 2 successes.
2 successes.
I had 3 in the house, I have one, so 2 successes.
So you can see that she is uncomfortable, but she is trying to put on as polite a face as she can and smile back. And you can see that Mihail sees she's uncomfortable, but acts like he doesn't see it.
I feel sorry for her, like, poor girl. He's such a dick, and that's what I'm thinking, all right? That's not what Janina said to Zygmunt.
Yes. I assume you're thinking that.
You've learned your lesson.
Yes. I've assumed that.
Okay,
Zygmunt,
I just wanted to clarify.
just says, there is someone I would like to introduce you to.
Oh, yes, Daniel told me.
Daniela, yeah, I don't seem to be of interest. Zygmunt smiles at him. Don't take offense, my dear boy. I just think the 2 learned ladies could find something in common to talk about. I know reading books was never one of your interests. And Daniel he looks angry, but he controls himself. Like, I suppose not. And he just stops himself.
Right, and who is the person?
Oh, she's
you want
right
to-
over there. And he gestures to a blonde woman. She's looking maybe in her early 30s, has longer, slightly wavy blonde hair, falling a bit over her face. And she's sitting there reading a book.
I will look
She's
towards her.
one of her clan as well, recently picked up by a sheriff.
Oh, I see. Well, if you want me, I'm going to introduce myself.
I'm sure Daniel won't mind. You'll be reunited soon enough. And he just smiles at Daniel. And Zygmunt looks to him, keep an eye on Isidore for me, will you, dear boy? Then I'm sure he can take care of himself. Oh, I wish, says Zygmunt. And starts leading you towards the woman sitting there reading. And he just says, as he comes up, Nastya, my dear, there's someone I'd like you to meet, the other young member of our clan, a fellow scholar and scientist, Janina. Please meet Nastya. And she looks at you and smiles, and you see that her book she's reading is written in Cyrillic. She looks to you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to meet you.
So, you're a fellow scholar, right?
I wouldn't call myself a scholar, but...
Well, I will leave you to it then, says Zygmunt.
Just dump you in the deep end.
And he comes back, and you see that he is moving towards Isidore right now.
Concern for Mikhail's face.
And goes there and puts a hand on his shoulder. Isidore just looks to him angrily and starts saying something with clear outrage, but quietly. Around this time, Bea, you enter the Elysium with Felicia. And from the people you can see, I think Antoni would be the clearest point of contact. So yes, Felicia directs you towards.
Yes, I'm very much following her directions at this point.
So you look around, you probably don't recognize any of these people.
Oh, good.
You recognize Janina.
Yeah, good.
And some of them seem familiar. You get like feelings of familiarity from some of them more negative, some more positive. And Felicia leads you to Antoni. And she starts explaining the situation that Beatrice has some insights into one of the dangers facing the city. It's about some entity that apparently is disgusted by our presence here.
I ran into the Malkavian Primogen earlier this evening, and they also provided some insights. There's something in the sewers, something that feels great disgust for us. The Primogen named it as Fladivar. They've said that we are on its land, and that it's disgusted by us. And I felt that disgust.
Well, I will certainly try to make sense of all that. Thank you for this information.
The only other thing I can tell you is there are pale eyes in the darkness. That is it. It has dark veins in its skin. That's it, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Miss Wozniak. I hope you're all right.
I will be. Thank you. Clearly still quite shaky, but I will give him a small smile.
Well, if anything else comes up, feel free to find me.
Of course.
I believe I will be working with your friend, Miss Shivak, in the upcoming future.
I will smile and nod and try to not look surprised.
Thank you. I will go look for the sheriff to convey this information.
Of course. I'll look to Mother. Left. And then look around the room and see if anyone's sort of looking at us. Anyone who feels familiar and warm.
Well, you see Janina. She feels familiar and warm. You see Rahela and Eliza whispering. They don't seem to see you right now. Okay, they are really focused on each other. They're holding each other's hands. Both seem rather upset. You see Isidore speaking with the Bruja Primogen in a very quiet but sort of angry, clearly excitable manner.
I think I'm going to leave him be.
And you see the toreadors, you see the man you know to be Mara's sire standing there.
That's not a good feeling, so I'm ignoring.
No, that's not a good feeling. You see Cornelia the Ventru, you get a good.
Is Roman still here?
Yes, Roman is around as well. He would be still around. He's just sitting somewhere in a corner, but you get a positive, warm feeling from him. And he stands up and starts coming towards you.
I will head towards him. I don't quite remember his name, but he seems familiar, and there's maybe a feeling like I haven't seen him in some time.
He just comes up to you. Bea. Oh my God, I'm happy to see you.
I'm so sorry.
Janina was running around looking for you. I tried to learn where you run, and for fuck's sake, you straight into danger, right? No middle ground with your group.
Yeah, that not my finest moment.
I'm just glad you're okay.
And I smile at him. I'm glad to be okay. And I'm glad to see you. On the plus side, I did learn some things, so that was helpful, I guess. Maybe not worth it, but
well, that's whatever the fuck that is. In the sewers. Vladimir. Charming.
Yes. No, I still feel a little gross thinking about it.
I just hope to never cross my paths with this bastard.
No.
I'm so glad you're okay. Come on, sit down.
I'll go and sit down. How have you been?
Same old, pretty. I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry about Mara.
I think as he says that, I glance over and see Felicia, and the sort of flare of anger and resentment bubbles up again.
You see, though, she's still talking to Antonia a bit. He looks towards Felicia as well. Yeah. I bet your sire's coping okay. I don't know. For all I know, she may be devastated.
I'm gonna roll and try and resist the fucking blood bond again.
Do it. Difficulty 8 while you're willpower.
One of these days. No successes. Because of course not. No successes, because of course
but no bot.
It's not a bot.
Okay.
There's this moment where I go to say something and then can't.
He just looks to you and he just kind of nods his head. Of course.
There are things I want to say and I can't.
I know. Don't worry. And he, pats you on the back.
Okay. There's a full body flinch as he does that.
And he's like, sorry, sorry, I get it. Don't worry. I get it.
Sorry. This is new. Yes, I should have mentioned. Don't know when it happened. It doesn't matter. Where were we? Sorry, things are a little hazy today.
Do you want to just get out of here, get some rest?
I look over at Janina.
She's talking to a woman you don't recognize at all.
I look to Roman and say, I want to be around people. It'll make me feel more like I'm here and less like I'm there.
Sure. Well, I'm here. I can. It may be lousy company, but
You're
I'm
just
here.
fine. You're fine.
And he just gives you a smile.
What have you been up to?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I continue with polite conversation.
You continue with polite conversation, and he tells you that he's been also looking into this thing in the sewers, but hasn't really found much beyond what he's found before, and believes that's why some Nosferatu went missing. But
clearly, he needs a friendly local Malkavian primogen.
Yes. Meanwhile, Janina, you're talking to Nastya, who looks after Zygmunt as he moves away. So Zygmunt told me you're interested in medicine.
Yes, I was a nurse. Well, not officially, but I picked up a lot of things. What are you reading?
Oh, that's just a book of philosophy. Some political stuff. I don't think it's that good, really. Some of it is a bit contrived. But it's good to know for maybe conversing with some of your clan.
Oh, I wish I could read that.
I could teach you some. And you hear when she speaks that she has a sort of heavy Eastern accent. It comes easier to me than your language.
Oh, I understand. And may I ask your name? I'm not sure if...
Nastya.
Oh, Nastya. Sorry, I'm just all over the place today, and I'm distracted easily. It's very nice to meet you, Nastya.
It's good to
How
meet
are you
you.
settling in?
I'm mostly keeping to myself. I feel very overwhelmed by all of this. I'm not really, well, a very sociable person.
Oh, yes. That's one thing I don't like about this place. It's too much people.
It really is. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at making conversation.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not good at it myself.
Two introverts shoved in a room together and told to socialize.
Have you been to Primogen's workshop yet?
I don't think I was.
You haven't. No, you mentioned that you would be welcome, but you weren't there.
You've been busy.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to go there yet.
You should.
What about you?
He has some very interesting inventions and drawings, various machines that's, well, state-of-the-art stuff.
That sounds nice. I'm sure when I'm gonna have time and not gonna get myself into trouble, I will make time to visit his workshop.
I can teach you some Cyrillic if you'd like.
That would be very nice. I think my brain needs something to concentrate on, something that is not full of emotions, something that I can, dig deep and practice in my free time.
All right, well.
And if you want an exchange, maybe I can teach you something about medicine. I'm not a doctor, but.
I'd definitely be interested. I've only done some reading, mostly in psychology, some neurology, that kind of stuff.
That's very interesting.
And she just opens the book at a random page and starts showing you letters, and then pulls out like a pencil. You can just write on there if you want to practice. As I said, it's not that good.
I will sit and try to, but sometimes I glance if I see like Bea, Felicia, Roman, Daniel.
Yes, you see Bea come in, talk to Antoni, and then sit with Roman on the other side. And they're just chatting. And you, Bea, when you glance at Janina, you see her leaning over a book, writing something with that woman that you don't recognize.
I kind of smile fondly as I look over at her.
I'll smile back.
And I think this is a good moment to end tonight's session. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you for staying with us to continue this story. We really hope you enjoyed it. And we will be back in 2 weeks at the same time, 6:30 p.m. GMT on the 30th of November. So please come again to join us to continue the story of Bea and Janina. So good night or good whatever it is, wherever you are, and see you in 2 weeks.
Take care.
Bye.